Welcome to the Inside Syracuse Basketball Podcast. I'm Mike Waters. Today on the podcast, I'm joined by former Syracuse basketball player Buddy Boeheim. I talked with Buddy about his Syracuse career, playing for his father, and also playing with his brother, and also about the punch that led to the suspension from his final college basketball game. Well, welcome back to the Inside Syracuse Basketball Podcast, and today we have an extra special guest with us. It's I was going to say Syracuse basketball player Buddy Boeheim, but I guess now it's former Syracuse basketball player Buddy Boeheim. Buddy, how are you?
I'm doing well. That got me a little so I haven't heard that yet. So that definitely shook me up a little, but I'm doing well.
Former Syracuse player.
Crazy.
And it is official. I mean, you could come back, but that's not going to happen, right?
Yeah, I actually just signed with the agency yesterday, so that's out of the picture. But I'm excited to be a fan again and see what next year holds. I'm excited to watch these young guys come in, and I'm sure they'll be ready to go.
Well, I didn't expect to break news here on a podcast, but so you which agency have you signed with?
Oh, I signed with Rock Nation, so same one I did my NIL with, and just kind of grew with them. And actually the agent I signed with was a former manager at Syracuse, Drew Gross. So kind of worked out great. He's a great guy, and I'm excited. So yeah, me and Jimmy did that yesterday.
Jimmy too.
Yep, Jimmy too. So
a package deal, the Boeheim brothers.
Package deal. That's how it goes with us now.
Well, that's and I remember Drew when he was a manager at SU. So
yeah, he's great.
Be a comfortable fit.
Yeah, couldn't ask for anything better than that. So it's exciting.
Why not come back? Why do you want to? Why is it time to move on?
Yeah, I've thought about it a lot, honestly. I mean, going into this year, this was the thought. This would be the last year. It just feels like it's time. Obviously, I didn't like how I ended it, but to end it with my brother alongside me playing for my dad these last 4 years, it just felt like it was time to. Over the summer, I worked really hard on getting these guys coming in, getting Justin in, who I think can be like me, if not, even better. He has all the tools necessary. So I'm excited for him. And it just felt like I put a lot of work in these last 4 years to play here and help this program as much as I could. And, it just felt like it was time almost. You just get that feeling. You can't really describe it, but I mean, it's been a great journey, a great 4 years, but I'm kind of ready for what's next. I'm ready to try to play at the next level, prove more people wrong. And, I feel like I had a pretty good year and gave it everything I had. So that's all that matters. And I think it's time for the future, the next group of guys to come in and have their impact. I don't want to hog this spotlight too much. So I'm ready for what's next.
1,700 and some odd points is enough.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, just I didn't want to come back either and take Lawrence's record because that's not fair. 5 years you can't. I wouldn't want them to count that. So even taking GMAC's record, that wouldn't have been right. So 4 years is plenty for me because I did get to play my freshman year a little. If I didn't, maybe I would have thought about it. But
right. I
played 4 years. I played over 18 minutes since my freshman year and started 3 years. So can't ask for much more than that.
Sure. It's been a remarkable career. In getting ready for this podcast, I looked back at some of the stories I've written about you. One of the very first ones was right after you committed. And somewhere in there was the phrase that he's more than just the son of a coach walk-on.
Yeah, that was the phrase. Everyone was saying that when I committed. That's all I heard was, he's a walk-on. He'll be a good walk-on. He'll maybe be a role player one day. And I talked with Eric yesterday. I just told him, me and my dad met 3 days ago now. And we just started laughing, talking about it. Like, hey, 4 years ago, we were sitting here like, yeah, you'll come in and just work hard and we'll see what happens. Maybe you'll play your sophomore, junior year or whatever. But, I feel like I helped us win 4 or 5 games my freshman year, just coming in and making shots. And we talked about that and just kind of, it's crazy where I'm at now. And it's definitely something we'll laugh about for a long time, just coming in ranked 349th in the country. And we had.
He remembers the exact number.
Oh, I remember. Every day. It's just one of those things that motivates me. People were saying I was a mid-major player, low D1 player, and I don't think they can say that anymore.
No, probably not. You proved a few people wrong. You exceeded my expectations, that's for sure. And I wasn't as big of a naysayer as many of them.
But yeah, you had my back for sure.
A little bit, but still, I don't think I saw 1,700 points. And
I don't think anyone did. I really don't. I'm not even myself. No one saw it. It's just a lot of hard work, and just shows you can do anything that you work towards. And I worked for this my whole life, really. So, it's my life's work, and I owe GMAC, IC Devo, Ryan Kabilis, a lot of people credit for that, because I wouldn't be here without them. That's just the truth, and they help motivate me every day. So just a lot of hard work, and owe a lot of people credit for my success.
I heard your dad talk after the Duke game when he was asked about this season, and he said it was his best season ever in coaching. And I knew what he meant as a dad. Yeah. It was because he got to be around his two sons all the time, and that had to be special. At the same time, I know it was a hard year for everybody. Yeah. It was, a losing record. Yeah. So how do you look back on this season? It's both, I guess there's a lot of positives and a lot of negatives.
Yeah, obviously, it's bigger than basketball at the end of the day, but it's a season that, people should know we're never going to get over how it went. I mean, it hurts. It sucked, to have a losing record, and especially the way we lost games. Like I still think this is the best team I played on, one of the best teams at Syracuse I played on. Freshman year was probably the best with talent wise, a couple NBA players with O'Shea and Elijah, and Frank was really good. Tyus is obviously one of the great players to play. So that team's probably the best, but comparing this team to the Sweet 16 team last year, it's really close. I mean, I think I got better. Joe got better from that year. Cole really shoots it. Jesse was one of the most improved players in the league. So, I mean, just, the way we lost games this year, we could easily had 20 plus wins. And that's what's going to hurt the most, is that it's not like we were a 16, 17 team. We were better than that, but we couldn't get together, and we're going to have to live with that. But trust me, it hurt. It was a lot of ups and downs this year. And, we hated losing more than anything. So it's obviously bigger than that. Just playing with Jimmy, playing with my dad was amazing, and that will never take away from that. But, we want to win at the end of the day. We always have. That's the biggest thing on our minds, and we didn't. So you got to kind of live with that and just use it as motivation.
Did you ever call your dad coach?
No, I really don't think I did. I mean, I think I would just say hey, or get his attention. I wouldn't say dad. I would just say something out loud, and he would hopefully he would hear. But I would joke around with him. And when I left home, if we had the team over, I'd say, shake his hand, say, all right, coach, see you tomorrow. Like that's the most I would do, was just joke around with him, but never dad on the court, never, or coach.
We focus a lot on you and your brother playing for your dad, but playing with your brother, you got this 1 year. What was that like for you two? Did it bring you guys closer than you already were? Or
Absolutely. Me and Jimmy were close growing up, not that close. He was more reserved, did his own thing, we wouldn't hang out that much. So we had a good relationship. It was more, we were super competitive. So we were fighting a lot growing up. So that was a problem. So I was more with my sister and hanging out with her, but just over time in college, we got close. He would text me after games, this and that. We talk a lot, and I'd go visit him. But this last year, especially living with him, we hang out every day. We get food together. We watch games together. We just do so much more now. And, our relationship's grown so much on the court. We get on each other still. I yell at him more than I yell at any other teammate. If he makes a mistake, or if I make a mistake, he'll get on me. But, it's just because I know I can hold him accountable at the end of the day. And it was great having that, because I know that he's not going to take it to heart, and I could get on him whenever. And he's smart. He's going to make adjustments. And, also, he's a very good player. He helped us a lot this year. There's no doubt about that. And it was a special experience that we'll cherish for the rest of our lives, even though it went poorly. we still were out there together battling, and we got to play for Syracuse. So it's pretty cool.
There was one big brother moment. I waited all year to see a big brother moment, like a defender bumps you and he steps in. I never saw it. The post-game press conference after the Duke game at the ACC tournament. And we had set the ground rules. I think your dad had even said, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Me and Jimmy were going to talk about the game. And then after all the game questions were done, then you were going to speak. And one of the reporters either didn't hear it or just wanted to jump the gun and started to ask you a question because you came.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And Jimmy just, before your dad could say, wait a second, we said, and I was like, ooh, there's the big brother instinct. I finally saw it.
Yeah, no, I was like, oh, wow. I knew my dad was going to say, any chance my dad gets to correct someone, he's going to do. That's how he is. But, for Jimmy to do that was cool too. They're very similar, but, I know he's going to have my back no matter what. And he also had it in the game. He played his best game of the year. I think a little bit of that was he wanted to get me back on the court. And, but watching that game, I was very inspired, and it was a proud moment for me. So I'm very proud of him. And yeah, it was, just a lot of memories with him this year that we'll carry forever.
Yeah, I was definitely like, ooh, there's the protective big brother moment. I was like, Jimmy was like, he beat your dad to the punch.
Yeah, no, I was surprised too. I looked over, and if I wanted to smile a little bit, like, yeah, that's my big bro. But it was a cool moment for sure. I don't think many people noticed that, so that was cool.
Something else that I think a lot of people did notice is when you did address the media after the Duke game. And there's a couple questions I want to ask about that. But the one is, in the middle of you were talking, and you sort of stopped for a minute. I couldn't tell whether you were choking up a little, but your dad started to say something, and you said, "I got this."
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. I didn't hear him at first, so I thought he was, he really said, "Oh, I'll handle that part after." I think he meant after I go, but I thought he meant, "Oh, he's going to try to take over and and I was like, "No, I'm not here to argue that. I'm not here to complain about anything. I'm going to say what I have to say because." At first I woke up and I was like, I need this. I can't not say anything. I don't, the tweet, I saw the tweet and I was like, this is okay, but I need to apologize myself just because I couldn't sleep. I couldn't really do anything. I just, was very upset with myself, obviously, but I wanted to say something myself. So, I texted Pete Moore that morning. I was like, hey, can I do media today? Like, I don't want to take away from the game, but I need to do this. And then he said, yeah, is your dad okay with that? I texted my mom and got that approved, talked to him before the game. Like, he's like, you know what you want to say? I was like, I have a good feeling. Like, I know when it happens, I'll know what to say. And so I started going, and I wanted to say some more things before I was done, but he kind of cut me off. I was like, no, don't do this to me. Like, I want to say this, like, I need to say this. And so I just was like, all right, I'm going to finish what I have to say. But I think he knew that after, but he just was very upset with how the ACC handled it. And I wasn't there to talk about that. I didn't want to take away from the great game, the performance or anything. I just had to say that, and then I would have been fine with leaving right after that. But I wanted to get that across and just apologize, really.
I got to say, I got a heads up before the game from Pete Moore that you were likely to come talk to the media after, because I was asking him if I could talk to you, because I didn't figure you would come to the press room. So I was hoping maybe outside the locker room or something, maybe. And I was like, the odds of this are slim. But then when he responded, well, he's coming into the post-game presser, I was like, you got to be kidding. You sort of addressed it, but why do that? Why did you really feel like you wanted to come in? Because I had to tell you, there's a lot of professional athletes that for a lot of reasons won't come in and talk to the media after even a loss, much less something like you had to go through.
Yeah, it was definitely not easy. I honestly just woke up that day and was like, I need to do this. I just had a gut feeling like I should do this. This is the right thing to do. Really, no one told me anything to do it or not. I think more people were like, don't do it, or surprised I wanted to do it. And
right.
I just said, I need to do this. Like, this is my last game. This was probably going to be my last game at Syracuse, my last moment. I'm not going to, even if it wasn't, I just feel like I owed, people an apology, social media and all that's fine, but just, saying something over the phone is not, they don't see how torn up I was. I really was torn up about it because I never did anything in my career that was dirty or anything. And I see, people are getting such a wrong perception. That's social media today. People, can twist things and, oh, he's such a dirty player now. He's, look at him and this and that. And that's not me at all. And I just wanted people to know that I really did feel terrible about it. And it was not out of, there was nothing that led up to it that I was like, oh, I'm going to try to hurt this guy right here or anything. It was just a heat of the moment exchange. And I just wanted people to know that I was sorry. And I just felt like I had to say something myself. And yeah, so it was really just a gut feeling that I wanted to do. And I'm happy I did it. I definitely learned a lot from that situation and just tried to handle it the best way I could. I really wasn't too worried about the suspension. I wanted to let people know I was more upset with myself than anything.
It almost wasn't your last game at Syracuse. If it was the length of a high school game instead of a college game, 4 minutes less, you guys, the rest of the guys almost pulled off an incredible upset.
Oh, the best game of the year. I mean, with me, I don't think we do any better. I really don't. I don't think we even get that close. I mean, just the way they played out there. Samir was distributing so well. He filled in so great. They just played with so much heart. I mean, they really gave it everything they had that game. It was beautiful to watch. I was so inspired watching. I was like, man, if we win, I should sit out again if we're gonna, this is we lost them by 30 with me 2 times. Like, this is incredible. So I was so proud watching those guys. Jimmy played his best game of his career. He was playing against 2 future top 10 picks, and he was killing them. He was killing them and making tough shots, and it was awesome to see. So, at the end of the day, for them to go out like that, I was proud. I was proud, and it would have been great to play again. But if we lost by 30, I would have been devastated. But, I feel like I let them down, obviously, at first, not being out there, but just watching how they came together and played. It was awesome. I couldn't have been prouder.
In those 24 hours where everybody else is freaking out about your suspension and everything and how that's going to affect the game, your father comes up with the triangle and 2. Yeah. So while also throwing a few arrows at the ACC for how the referees handled it, but when did he tell the team, and how did the triangle and 2 get introduced to you guys?
Yeah, we actually went to St. Francis and did a walkthrough and just had our street clothes on, and he went over it and said, hey, Cy, you're going to have Griffin. You're not leaving him at all. And Joe's going to guard Keels and not let him get anything. And then we're going to have a body on Mark Williams the whole time. Cause a guy like him it's the worst thing for the zone, not Banchero, it's him. Cause he's such a lob threat. You can throw it over the forward's head every time. He's going to dunk it. He's 7'1". It's impossible to stop him against his zone. And especially with the players they have. So we just said, hey, Brahma, keep a body on him at all times. If he leaves the paint, you can stay down low. But if he's in the paint, that's your guy. Keep a body on him. Don't let him get off. Don't let him get rebounds, anything. So just stopping him was our main focal point. And also AJ Griffin, who killed us the first 2 games. He had 3 points maybe last game, and Banchero struggled. And, we really did everything we could. But Jeremy Roach and Wendell Moore beat us. And the end of the day, you have to live with that. Jeremy Roach is their 7th guy, and he had shots that, he usually makes a couple of those, but not as many as he hit that night. But, credit to them. He's a good player. Obviously, they're great players, but at the end of the day, you live with those guys beating you.
What did you do with yourself before the game? The minute, this is similar to a question I asked Cal Ripken one time. I asked him on the day where he finally didn't play when the streak was ended, what did he do that day? And he said he was so totally out of sorts, didn't know what to do with himself. He said he roamed around. He went to the bullpen. He admitted it was weird. It was uncomfortable.
No, it was weird. It was weird. I never missed a game in my career besides the COVID, and I was at my house last year watching the games. That's probably the weirdest thing ever, watching us play on TV, and I'm at home. That was super weird, but it was just a weird year. But, I mean, that night I was up all night when I found out. I mean, I was I was bawling my eyes out for 15 minutes, whatever it was, just couldn't stop crying. And then I was like, all right, now what do? I just hang around, and my biggest thing was just stay busy. When I got to the arena, I went out and rebounded, passed, tried to guard guys, just keep my mind busy. I wasn't trying to think about, it was hurting because every 2 minutes I'd be like, man, I want to be out there warming up right now, getting ready to play. But it was just, all right, help the team out any way possible, rebound, pass, talk to guys, let them know what I think, Wendell Moore's going to do guarding me last couple of times we played them, his tendencies, and just help in any way possible, keep my mind occupied because it was going to hurt. But at that point, I was, my dad just told me, all right, be the best cheerleader you can today. And that's what I tried to do, is just cheer these guys up, lift them up every time. If someone missed a shot, just tell them keep shooting, whatever it was. So kept my mind as busy as possible. But those 24 hours up to it, it was the longest 24 hours of my life, probably.
It had to be brutal. It had to be, for any player to not play, and for the reasons that had to be brutal. So what's next? You signed with an agency. So what happens next?
So these next, I have the luxury of having just an amazing facility here, amazing coaches and trainers. So these next 2-3 weeks, I'm going to work out here still and get workouts in with GMAC and Ryan, get my last, couple workouts in with them. It will be bittersweet, just all the amount of time I've spent with them. But after that, going to evaluate, then eventually head down to the city, start working out with the trainers they got down there, some really good NBA trainers, and they'll have some players down there that are trying to go to the draft as well. So it'll be cool to work out with them and, just hang out down there, get ready, just spend a lot of time working out, getting my body right. And then, around May, hopefully do some workouts with teams and see about the combine, if I get invited or not, go to the G League one, definitely, and try to work my way into a spot. But just really just work hard and try to do well as I can in the workouts and stuff, and see where it goes from there. If I get drafted or not, it's fine, but have a chance in summer league to hopefully open up some eyes. And, it'll be cool doing this all with Jimmy. So I'm excited, and it will be a fun process. It's definitely bittersweet, but it's also a new opportunity, new thing I can prove more people wrong in. So I'm excited.
Yeah, when people start to ask me about, well, do you think Buddy can play in the NBA? I'm like, well, after my high school to college experience with him, I'm not saying no.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. I'm gonna work. I'm gonna try to make it happen some way or another. And I'm okay with it if it doesn't work out. I got to play at Syracuse. That's all I ever dreamed about. So this is even more than I could have ever imagined.
Of course, so now we know Buddy and Jimmy Boeheim have played their last games at Syracuse. So now we'll turn our attention to the third Boeheim.
Yeah, he's still going. He's still going.
See, now you wonder when he's going to retire. And I know he hates that subject, probably more than any other right now. But, your favorite football player, Tom Brady, retired. And then a month and a half later, Tom Brady's coming back.
He's back. You can't get rid of him, just like my dad. I don't know. I really don't. I mean, he says, oh, maybe, I don't know, maybe another year, maybe 2 years, but that could be 4 years, 5. You just don't, not 5 years. But
we're talking about Tom or your dad?
Oh, Tom's probably 1-2 more years, I think, Tom. But it's the same with my dad, really. It could be this year, it could be 2 years, it could be, 3. I don't think he does anything more than 3, more than 2, maybe more than 2, but it's his decision. And, if he keeps it to himself, he does. If he lets people know, he does. We don't really talk about that just because I know he loves it so much. He still has that same passion every day. He's doing a great job. He's really excited about, these guys coming in, and thinks that there's a lot of possibilities. So these guys, we have five guys coming in, really good players. Hopefully he's still waiting on Judah, but they're coming in because he's there. He said, he let them know I'm going to be here next year, and we'll see after that the next couple of years. But they're coming in for him, and he knows that he's not going to leave because of that. These guys are excited to come in. They're very good players, and, it's a great opportunity for him to, work with them, and it's exciting. So he still can do it. He still got it. And, I'm excited to see what he does next year. I know it'll be pretty cool.
Now, every former Syracuse player I've ever talked to has a story about your dad, either tearing into them individually or laying into the team. So now, as a former Syracuse player, I'm going to ask you
Man,
for a story about your dad as coach.
Yeah. Man, he's definitely ripped into a lot of guys since I've been here. Nothing too crazy that I can think of.
I've heard
I should
locker
have
rooms. I've heard buses.
I should have more stories ready for this, but I really don't have anything crazy that I can think of. I mean, just arguments here and there, the normal stuff. But like people, honestly, like the coaches talk to us about it every day. Like he's so much nicer now than he was, even 8, 5, 6 years ago. Like he doesn't, he yells at guys and picks up chairs and stuff, but he doesn't, he really isn't that bad anymore. Like he'll get on guys for a minute and that's it. But I mean, he definitely got on the transfers a lot this year. One of his favorite things was to get on Jimmy, like, this isn't Cornell anymore. That was one of his favorite lines, was this isn't Cornell, or this isn't Marquette Cy, or Cole, I see why, Villanova didn't play you that more than that, didn't start you or anything. He got on Cole a lot about Villanova. So his big thing this year was picking on the transfers and their old schools, this isn't Cornell, this isn't the Ivy League, this and that. So, that was his biggest thing this year, but, he didn't have any crazy rants like he used to probably.
So Jerry and Red and Griff will tell stories. They say It was worse.
Yes, 1,000% worse. But when he does yell at someone, they'll be like, "That's my coach." That they love it. They love it because that's how he used to be every day.
Okay, so your immediate future is you're going to go get ready for the draft. You're going to work out. You're going to have a career wherever it leads you. And we've talked about this once or twice before. Your future after a playing career ends, it might involve you coaching, right?
Yeah, hopefully that's the goal. Just something in basketball. I love it. I feel like I've learned a lot. I have a lot of knowledge on just the game in general, and also just connecting with players. I feel like I've been helping with the recruiting process a lot too. So I just feel like it's something I want to do and get into. I mean, I love basketball so much. It's all I've really worked on my whole life, is playing basketball and being around the game. I've been around Coach K and a ton of the best players, best coaches in the world. So I want to do it, and that definitely, we'll see how long I can play for. Hopefully it's a while, but I think just playing at the next level too will help, me with my, experience, and just it'll give me a good, reputation already with that and who my dad is. So, I mean, the knowledge is there, the experience is there, learning from being around practice these last 18 years of my life, going to practice every day. So I feel like I've learned a lot and know what it takes to be a successful college coach, which is probably where I'd want to end up. Hopefully Syracuse, but I'll really, start anywhere.
Well, we'll see where your future leads you. That'll be awesome. I appreciate you coming on the podcast, giving us some of your time, talking about all the variety of subjects and breaking news too. That's amazing. Good luck to you. It's the first step in your pro career.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thanks for everything that you do for Syracuse basketball. I love reading your stuff. So thanks.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. We'll get you a subscription.